Good morning, everybody. I'm Don Stewart, and welcome to another edition of Breaking News. Today is Sunday, Palm Sunday, April 13th, 2025, and it's the day after the first meeting between Iran and the United States in the country of Oman. And we had yesterday the comments from the Iranians with respect to how the meeting went. Well, today we have a couple comments from the U.S., and we'll look at that. And then we have further comments from the Iranians, as well as two pretty good stories for Israel, and we'll see how they turn out. So let's look at the headlines. The first one says Donald Trump said the nuclear talks with Iran are going okay. That was his explanation. The White House said the special envoy Steve Witkoff had very positive talks with Iran. So far positive from both sides. In fact, the next story, this is from Iran. They said Iran and the U.S. are very close to agreeing on the contents of the talk. That was the Iranian negotiator. We'll look at that story. And then two real positive stories. The Lebanese Army takes control of most of Hezbollah's bases in South Lebanon, some sites in the north. This would be great if it continued on. And so the people in the north would not have to worry anymore about Hezbollah. And the Yemeni government is reporting preparing 80,000 man assault on the Houthi-controlled Hodeidah port. And if they complete that, it looks like the end of the Houthis, as it would be in Yemen, which would be wonderful for the shipping of the world, which cannot go through the Red Sea now because of the attacks on the Houthis. So there's so much going on. In addition, this is Palm Sunday, the first day of Holy Week, the most important week, of course, in the Christian calendar. And we like to encourage everyone to follow the events in the Gospels with respect to Palm Sunday, all the way to Calvary and Easter Sunday. Palm Sunday, of course, is the first day Jesus publicly proclaimed himself as Israel's Messiah, but sadly, he was rejected by the people. So what I've decided to do, just decided this morning. I'm going to record something every day for your Bible questions answered about events of Holy Week. Explain Palm Sunday, the cleansing of the temple. We'll get to the crucifixion, the resurrection, the Olivet Discourse, and the other events of the week. So in the future, when we come around to this week, we don't have to do it again. It'll be done once and for all, just explaining it. So hopefully you'll like that. So today, on your Bible questions answered, it's going to be, what is Palm Sunday all about? What is the meaning of Palm Sunday? So we'll have that for you later today. All right, let's get the headlines. Number one, Donald Trump says the nuclear talks with Iran are going okay. This is a Reuters story. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Saturday that the nuclear programs, I think they're going okay. He told reporters on Air Force One, nothing matters until you get it done, so I don't like talking about it, but it's going okay. The Iran situation is going pretty good, I think. That was according to the Reuters story. Now, from the White House, there's a little bit more here. Headline number two, the White House says Special Envoy Steve Witkoff had very positive talks with Iran. It's a Breitbart story. The White House says Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, was very positive, had very positive and constructive talks with Iran on Saturday. The White House issued a statement on the much anticipated meeting in Oman, where an American delegation of Witkoff and U.S. Ambassador to Oman, Anna Eskrogima, I guess how you pronounce it, had discussions with Iranian Foreign Minister Dr. Abbas Araghchi and Omani Foreign Minister Saeed Badr, who hosted the meeting in Muscat, that's the capital of Oman. The discussions were very positive and constructive, and the United States deeply thanks the Sultanate of Oman for its support in the initiative, the White House said in a statement. Special Envoy Witkoff underscored to Dr. Araghchi that he had instructions from the president to resolve the two nations' differences through dialogue and diplomacy, if that is possible. To the White House added, going on to note the complexity of the issues at hand. The issues are very complicated, and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff's direct communication today was a step forward in achieving a mutually beneficial outcome. The sides agreed to meet again next Saturday, the statement concluded. This is again the White House statement. And then Trump later, we're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started on Saturday. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. I think everybody agrees about doing a deal would be preferable to doing the obvious, Trump said. And the obvious is not something I want to be involved with, or frankly, that Israel wants to be involved with if they can avoid it. So we're going to see if we can avoid it, but it's getting to be very dangerous territory. All right, so that's the comments from both Witkoff and Trump, and then we're going to see the ambassador there from Iran has something else to say. All right, the comments from the Israeli side on these different news stories, as well as from Breitbart, where we just did this last one, and other sites such as the Epoch Times, They're all in agreement. Now, all the comments are in agreement. Amazing. I've seen hundreds of them. The U.S. is delusional to think that anything constructive can come out of this. So we'll have to see how long this charade goes on, because as we said yesterday in our second program on breaking news, there's no way Iran is going to keep any agreement. They never have. They just string the United States along. They've been doing this for decades, and they're very close to getting a nuclear weapon and having the delivery system to deliver it first to Israel, then second to the United States. So sooner rather than later, something has to happen. Now, the third headline, this is from Iran, from the Times of Israel. Iran and the U.S. are very close to agreeing on the contents of the talk. Tehran and Washington are very close to an agreement on the content of future negotiations on Iran's nuclear program. This is Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said after the first rounds of talks in Oman. During the meeting, I think we came very close to a basis for negotiations, he told the Iranian state television. At our next meeting, we can finalize that basis. We will have gone a large part of the way if they finalize it. One comment on this story seems to sum up the feelings from the Israeli side. Israel will have to go it alone. They're not even talking about all the Iranian weapons. And I hope you noticed that in the White House statement, nothing about the Iranians' weapons, their nuclear program, nothing what Iran said about it. And what we saw yesterday, it wasn't talked about at all by Witkoff or by the Iranians, it seems. So that's the big elephant in the room. That's the problem. Anyway, Israel will have to go it alone. And this is kind of what the thought of many of the comments that we got from Israelis, from Christians who love Israel, who see the problems that are going on, say Israel seemingly have to go it alone. The United States is not doing what they should be doing here. They have the ability once and for all to knock off the nuclear program. Now, in doing so, let's understand something. The precision, like Israel did when they bombed last October some other Iranian sites, you can destroy these sites without killing any people. They're not going to obliterate the people of Iran. You can take out the sites. You can take out their, where they're enriching uranium. They've got these bomb busters that come down and really make it difficult, if not impossible, for them to restart the program. However, are they going to do it? They have the capacity, but the window, like we have said, is very short. So as always, we will wait and see. Now, the last two stories, there's seemingly some good news for both Israel and Yemen. The Lebanese Army takes control of most of Hezbollah's bases in South Lebanon, some sites in the north. On the eve of the 50th anniversary of the Civil War, the Lebanese Army has begun dismantling Hezbollah bases across Lebanon without resistance. Now, this would be something if it's true. They've taken control of most of their military sites in southern Lebanon and begun to take control of sites north of the Litani River, according to reports in Lebanese media yesterday, Saturday. Sources close to Hezbollah told the AFP early on Saturday that the terror group had handed control over most of its military sites in southern Lebanon over to the Lebanese Army, in accordance with the ceasefire agreement that required only Lebanese Army and UN forces to be present south of the Litani River. In other words, we need to get the Israelis out of there because they're in 5 different spots in southern Lebanon, making sure Hezbollah doesn't regroup again. Hezbollah is reported to have surrendered control of 190 of the 265 military positions it held in south of the Litani River. The Lebanese media widely reported that the army had nearly completed the dismantling of Hezbollah's infrastructure in the south. And so it said the Lebanese army began entering these military camps, also north of the Litani River, provided few details. But bottom line is the president of Lebanon marked the 50th anniversary of the start of the Lebanese Civil War on Saturday by denouncing the launching of rockets from southern Lebanon into Israel, saying they were not serving Lebanon's interests. These actions provided additional pretext for Lebanon's enemies to launch aggression against it, and the Lebanese must agree to condemn and reject it. So it seems the powers that be are trying to do something. Of course, as one commentator to the article put it, come back in September and tell me they are still in the Army's hands. And that's the key. Will it change? Will there be any change in the position? Now, that would be wonderful from the people of northern Israel. Like we said, we have some friends that live there, relatives that live there, their friends, and it's been terrible. The bombing, the cities have been evacuated. So many things have been destroyed. Life has not gone on at all, basically, for the last 18 months as usual. Even after the bombing stopped, not all the people have moved back. And so if they could get some peace there, it would be wonderful to people in North. All right, finally, the fifth story. This would be other good news if it's true. The Yemeni government reported preparing 80,000 men, an 80,000 man assault on a Houthi-controlled Hodeidah port. We might be at the stage of counting down to the end of the Houthis, a leading expert said, as the Yemeni government prepares a massive 80,000 soldier assault on Hodeidah. Yemen's government is reportedly preparing to launch a massive assault to recapture the Hodeidah port in western Yemen from the Houthis, according to a Friday report in the Emirati state media. Yemen's internationally recognized government is preparing to mass these troops for what would be the largest offensive of the civil war. You've got the government against the Houthis, of course, according to statements to Dr. Abdulaziz Sagar, chairman of the Gulf Research Center in Saudi Arabia. He said this Friday. To my best knowledge, there is the preparation of almost 80,000 soldiers from the legitimate Yemeni government in different locations in order to take over Hodeidah, he said. We will, okay. So we'll obviously keep an eye on this story also. So here's what we've got this morning on Palm Sunday with the stories and news. Summing up, the Iran-U.S. talks are causing dread among the Israelis as well as many Christians who support Israel. We don't know how all of this will end up, but it's again, it's delusional to think that Iran will do anything to stop their nuclear program. They must be stopped. They will not stop it themselves. They will lie about it. They will obfuscate. That's what they've done in the past. So again, we will see how long this charade drags on. Now, as far as Lebanon and Yemen are concerned, there's seemingly good news, but as always, we must wait and see what actually happens. So above all, let's remember this week and its meaning. So we encourage you to read the gospel accounts or to listen to them being read. It's crucial that we think deeply about the events of this week, that took place some 2,000 years ago. And like we said, we'll be doing each day on Your Bible Questions Answered stories about Holy Week and the events that took place and what it means to us today as what it meant then. I'm Don Stewart. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful, blessed Palm Sunday. And until next time, as always, may the Lord richly, richly bless.